Well, that was cool. I like that.
I
Look how
didn't.
blue I am, dude.
Dabba-dee,
I'm
dabba-da.
blue. Yeah, exactly. Gotcha. That was the intro. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Clickheads. Blue Dabba Debo to Die is the first thing we're going to talk about. Just kidding. It's going to be Worlds, as we do every episode until next
this
year.
one, yeah. This is it.
This will be the last one we start this way, so buckle up, ladies and gentlemen, because nobody in the world, or at least the gambling world, could have predicted the way that this Worlds went, both in terms of viewership as well as who ended up taking it home. And what a grueling 6 a.m. 5-game series that was.
It was
my goodness.
Chinese first seed in EDG versus Damwon Gaming, and I have to say, I was caught off guard. These guys didn't look strong through a lot of their elimination games, right? Quarterfinals, it was a 3-2 against RNG. Semifinals, 3-2 against Genji, which is considered the weakest Korean seed. And then in like a miracle run through the finals, another 3-2, they took down Damwon Gaming, who was by far rated as like
the
tournament
most
favorite.
winning.
There will be
was
people
the tournament favorite.
will be saying stuff like, "Oh, I totally saw this one coming." It's like, no, you didn't. Shut up.
Nobody did. Literally nobody did.
Everyone was
which
thinking,
means that
there was
no one got the perfect pick'ems.
Yeah, no one got perfect pick'ems, which was a big point. There was one guy going into the finals and he mispredicted this series, but also the fact that I don't know, he's just like, I think a few Chinese analysts in the LPL could have predicted this outcome because like they pay a lot of attention to EDG. They probably also pay a lot of attention to Korea, but like anyone outside of that sphere who wasn't watching EDG all year, I don't think there was a reason that they would have put EDG above Damwon Gaming to take home the World Championship.
Right. You would have to completely observe and kind of factor in all the formulas to predict that EDG was going to have that pop-off series. But I will say, I didn't know Zoe and Graves had such a huge backpack on their champion because, my God, those were just huge instruments for success for EDG.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things about World Championships and longer form tournaments like this that stay on one patch is the evolving meta throughout a patch, right? In games like Melee, you have no updates ever. And so the meta only evolves as players discover things and they figure out, hey, what can beat this? All right, if this isn't on the table, what like new mechanic, what new like combo can I do to kill this person to this percentage? And in the World Championship, it's a much less period of time than, I don't know, how long has Melee been out? 20 years? 20 years to figure out a game meta. But there's still so much development in that short period of time as players are still discovering things. You saw the super early on, there was like no Yumi being played in the play-ins, and then Yumi getting picked up in the group stage, and then this even like newer style of abandoning Yumi. We're going towards the Graves and Zoe, and really I think the poke composition that Damwon Gaming brought out against SKT1 in the semifinals really defined the rest of the World Championship.
Right, and that's a good thing to point out. You take down a dynasty like T1, you want to replicate that formula because that was a recipe for success, but I'm going to harp on it as much as I can. Zoe's not a balanced champion for simply farming. She can acquiesce a 2,600 gold item for free.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's a little much. And when she uses it, it does damage despite whatever item it is. Name a champion whose flash can do damage besides Zoe?
Hang on.
Go on.
Think about it.
Okay. Go on.
I actually got nothing. I'm sorry. I thought maybe there was like one other person out there who could technically
just her
use that. Yeah, it is just her.
Yasuo is the only person who can flash to save his life, both in terms of dodging an ability or activating that shield. But yeah, Zoe is the only champion who gets to do damage for flashing. Pretty dangerous combo.
I think most of the power came from just that long range poke throughout the entire championship because it really was she was winning fights before they start. It's kind of like how Old Medley worked, and so I wouldn't be surprised if we see giant nerfs or a possible rework to Zoe.
I think there has to be.
Yeah, she already has had so many too. I think it's just crazy to me that pickups or champions like Syndra and Zoe get picked up so heavily in pro play when they're so incredibly weak in solo queue, because all you see is poor mage players getting beat out of lane by assassins. But then on the world stage, they still have to nerf mages because assassins aren't that good on the world stage. It just sucks for both worlds.
Yeah, and then when lethality items are strong, they're just the ones that terrorize the lower bracket. We see Kiana and Talon being put in the jungle with Gordrink or Conqueror. Like, that just goes to show you how bad these assassin items are. I do wonder, though, what if they gave Zoe the Tom Kench treatment?
Swap her R and her...
Pop the bubble and just swap her R and her E. Put the bubble on like a 90-second cooldown as opposed to a 6-second one, and let her throw Qs with max distance.
That's actually interesting. I mean, I don't think you can make it a super long cooldown, but it would certainly help with all the frustration because it's just so incredibly effective as a zoning tool, a damage tool. You are flash forwards and throw a bubble at melee range on someone. Yeah,
you can miss the bubble and it gets better. Like, what is that?
Yeah, that's
and it can go through walls. Sorry, that needs to be an ultimate. That ability is way too good. Because then you see people combo it with MF ult. And also, why doesn't MF ult pop it? That doesn't make any sense either.
Because it's a damage over time ability with no initial tick. Same with Malzahar E.
It needs to be coded just a little bit differently.
Well, let me wrap with this. We came in talking about Blue Dabba Dee Dabba Die. And to tie into this world's intro, you could say that EDG smurfed on the entire competition.
Wow. Good one. Nice.
You're welcome.
They did play really well. Yeah. I mean, they played the tournament meta very well. I think we saw, especially for those big backpacks in the play-in stages, those roles being given to like the bottom lane, the ADC. Hey, you have to pop off at this point in the game or we will lose. And then I wouldn't say they're non-existent, but Jin's there to start a fight. MF's there to just tack on damage while everyone else has already started the fight. And beyond that, no other ADCs really played. Lucian was there just for the Lucian Nami cheese. So it's unfortunate. I'm sad we didn't get to see a Kog'Maw.
It won't happen until enchanters are the strongest supports in the game, unfortunately.
I mean, people pick Nami, people pick Lu, though. Those are the Kog'Maw champs.
I mean, yeah, Lulu is, but it also has to rely. You also need like more than that. You need your mid laner to be utility.
Orianna. Also, real quick question: why so many Orianna picks on Showmaker? Like that's not a thing. Don't play those.
I mean, yeah, I think everyone would like to see him on his own
Zoe.
Else.
Yeah, why was Zoe left up twice and Showmaker didn't take it? I'll never know. I'll never get it.
Of course, it's always like hindsight, right? I mean, Damwon Gaming and EDG were scrimming like European teams at that point because everyone else had left. So the picks they were developing could have been worse than the picks they had developed earlier because they would have been playing them against weaker teams in order to prep for the World Championship, right?
I mean, we even saw Syndra be played into Zoe, and that's like the Zoe counter because you can do Scatter the Weak into it. I didn't see Showmaker land any stuns.
Yeah. I don't know. I got nothing for you. I think Zoe was just busted.
It's a sad.
Yeah.
Oh, well. At least we didn't have to see any like tank tops. I guess that's a...
Hating on my favorite meta.
Why do you like tank top?
I like tank tops.
You're Emax Jarvan to me. That doesn't scream tank. That screams I'm awesome.
No, it was tank. It was tank Jarvan back in the day.
You tank.
Unfortunately, also another useless pick that maybe deserved the Dade award by the end of Worlds is hyped up when I came in, then just insanely disappointing by the end of it all.
The Jarvan?
Oh yeah, it was.
You know what's interesting?
What's that?
He may be picked as the world skin for the winning team for EDG's jungler.
I'm gonna be surprised, but just disappointing. I think I don't think he deserved it this year.
He's like Malphite in the sense that it's just what he does is so predictable, but you also smack yourself in the head when you fall victim to it.
Have you ever seen a J4 EQ in, and then have you seen what he does after that?
He dies.
Yeah, or not even just that, but he literally doesn't do anything. He like auto attacks 3 people. And that's the J4 combo. That's all you got.
That's why you go lethality and no one else is in the pit after you do EQ ulti.
That just makes you die faster.
Yeah.
You get flayed out of the EQ, you don't even touch anyone with your damage, and then you just die.
What if, hear me out, what if there was a champion that when you did like a dash near them, they got a free auto attack that feared you? What about that? Would that be cool?
That's a pretty crazy champion idea. Might work with a might help with some anti-mobility, you know, really help
Yeah,
deal with this.
I had a friend come back to the game. This is a bit of a sidebar, but he came back to League after like months of not playing. We played like a nice blind pick, whatever. They picked Vex. He picked LeBlanc into it. And he's like, "What does this champion do?" And I looked at the screen. I said, "I'm sorry, man. I'm just don't try to hurt her. She will beat you up. She may look tiny and weak, but no, she's very strong." He didn't believe me until he literally could not do anything against her. So that's a good balance, though.
Yeah, I mean, if it works into LeBlanc, then I guess there is some merit to the anti-mobility argument.
You don't think that she's a good champion?
I think that she has overtuned numbers, and those numbers will go down.
Yeah, that's fair.
She shouldn't have one shot potential.
She's going to go down into the support role.
Oh,
and be abusive there, just like
again.
Brand and Vigar, and yeah, it'd be fun. It'd be great.
As a kind of like some mirror illusion, they dash in, she just auto attacks him, instantly feared.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, All-Star wants to engage? Nah, this ain't happening. Fear. I wonder, while we're kind of on the wind down from Worlds, of course, with it being over, we look towards the brighter horizon, and by brighter I mean the one with Akshan and Vex now being like a competitive set of champions to look forward to. Because I mean, like even at the base level of what Akshan can do, maybe his numbers aren't the greatest. Maybe has a bad laning phase, but that passive, that revive, that's a like a high tier ability in any capacity.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the value of it myself. But I have seen games where it directly affected the outcome. Just that
won the game.
Yeah, it's crazy what it can do. And at the right moment, you get a revive on an objective timer, and all of a sudden you're playing a 3 versus 5 in that pit, all because your option want to trade somewhere.
Yeah, and this can afford your top laners to you're like, let's say you do a 1-3-1 or something, right? You have your mid and your top splitting the side lanes. You're fighting 3v5 mid. You kill as Akshan the people that got your guys down, and then your team TPs in. You turn the tide of the fight. The enemy team tried to capitalize on your 3 numbers mid, and they couldn't do it because you have a passive with very little room for mistake. I mean, yeah, you have to sometimes overextend to get the kill, but
it's
flash dubstep ignite auto attack, and you get the kill to revive 3 of your teammates. That's always worth every time.
Always worth, yeah.
I wonder if he may even be like a weird Senna like ADC, like support style.
I don't think it can ever happen.
When you get enough money.
Yeah, not enough income, and the only reason that Senna and Pike work is because they have shared income abilities or shared scaling abilities.
Ah, Pike. What a cool champion. Should a support have an execute? Probably not.
Why not?
Probably not. I don't know. What's interesting is the person that designed Pike also designed Yuumi.
Huh.
Very drastically different.
Yeah.
Both terrible supports to play against.
For very different reasons.
Yeah. That person should not be in charge of making champions anymore. At least in my opinion. I'll make a champion. I got one in the books. Their name's called Swole. The full name Swole Papa.
Okay. I saw it coming.
He can only max his E first. And his E is Seismic Slam, Swole Slam, Sneaky Slam. Those are all of his abilities, actually.
It's just different slams.
Yeah, just a whole bunch of different slams. One he does from stealth, one does a bunch of damage. Regardless, it's going to be awesome. I'll make sure to mention all the people that brought me to my pinnacle of creation and design when I accept my award for best champion design in the history of video games. I'll make sure to thank all the little people.
I hope it gets put into Arcane.
Speaking of, guys, what is Arcane? What's it all about? Luckily, you have 2 of the chief authorities on this Riot anime project, 2 individuals who have yet to see a single episode.
And Hey, we watched all the trailers. We got hyped for it.
We've seen the trailers. I've seen the final trailer. It's got some great voice acting. The animation looks phenomenal. It's got some of your favorite characters, Jace, Heimerdinger. You got the two main characters that appears to be both Jinx and Vi, and their struggles through childhood in Zon, the underbelly of Piltover. It's pretty cool. It looks cool.
Not only is it pretty cool, currently, I think like a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes by critics. It was the #1 most watched TV show opening weekend on Netflix in 36 different countries. I mean, like, this is something that League of Legends players have been asking for since like A Twist of Fate and A New Dawn. Like those two cinematics came out in like 2013, 2014.
And that's the coolest thing. Their art department is insane. Their musical score, their animations, even some of their skin lines are phenomenal. Riot's got fantastic art. Sure, the balancing team is a bunch of eels, just moving tiny soccer balls across the field.
Really quick, my favorite comment on that was someone said, Riot releases Arcane, or the Riot art team releases Arcane, and then the balance team buffs Riven and Gore Drinker in the same patch.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's just a stark difference, at least according to the player base of League of Legends.
What is interesting, yes, this anime is going to be fantastic, and maybe I'll crack open an episode tonight after this. What's interesting, though, is, as you mentioned, it's very widely popular across the world. Not all those people play League of Legends. Some people are just looking for something new that's hyped on Netflix. Maybe they want to get involved in a game that someone in their family is sadly addicted to. But
if you were a loved
truth
one.
be told, yeah, if you were a loved one plays League of Legends, please watch Arcane so you can get some joy in your life for them. But that's the thing. This may bring a recent or new wave of players into the game. And
yes,
I'm afraid for them. Unless the community realizes this opportunity to revivify the game, right?
Yeah, we talked about it in Call of Duty community as like the Christmas noobs, right? Here you have the Arcane noobs, I guess. Arcane noobs, yeah, that's probably the best way you could put it. Because you are going to get those players who are going to come into these games and be like, okay, now I'm interested. I'll give League a try. This show was interesting. I want to learn more.
Right.
And, it really is just kind of on the player base. Like, be kind to these people. Like, please, if you're creating a new account and you're smurfing because your account got banned, try not to flame every new community member that comes into League.
Yeah, try to teach them.
Yeah.
I understand. Hey, you just dived under the tower. You have no items. Check your inventory. You probably have some money to spend. Also, those towers do a lot of damage, so be careful. This is our time. This game's community's doo-doo. This is us having an opportunity to press like a reset button.
We can hope, right? We can hope at the very
a
least.
Little
but
bit.
They'll be tough, I think.
If anything, at least there's sick merch, dude. Also, all the Arcane content has leaked into other Riot RPs or IPs.
Not just other Riot RPs.
Wait, what else is there? There's
Fortnite and Among Us.
Fortnite has collabs. One. Among Us. There's one more, I think, too. I feel like it's some game that I never would have predicted. What is it? R6? Maybe.
I haven't heard of the third one. I only know those two.
Maybe I'm just going crazy right now, and I'm not speaking truthfully, but it's possible, and that would be cool. But regardless, Fortnite Riot crossover for Arcane event, pretty cool. Again, bringing as much attention to this as possible. I think this is intentional because you know how they announced the Ruined King earlier this year?
Yeah.
Or late last year even. One of the two. They haven't said anything about it until, what's this? Oh, Riot's in the most spotlight possible? Didn't you talk about this? This is your tinfoil topic?
Oh, no, this is a different topic, but I do have an insider source that tells me that Lather and King, I'm not sure if they've made the official announcement for it yet, but it is still in the works. It has not been canceled. It is still coming out. And it's coming, like, they're going to make, I think, an announcement after Arcane releases because they're trying to, like, obviously
November 16th. Mark your calendars. If I'm right, I'm a prophet.
Grab all that attention with Arcane, right? And then
right.
Funnel into a new paid for game that isn't free to play.
Right. And then once people try to play Valorant and League and the community turns them away, they'll be like, well,
single player
maybe I'll
game.
give one more thing a shot. Oh, this game's cool. I don't have to play against real people.
Yeah, all they gotta do
That's
now
how
is
they get
announce the
you.
MMO at the end of the show release too, and then they'll be
give
like,
me,
set.
give me
It just
literally
takes
another
over.
20-second clip of the fighting game, and I'm back in Riot's graces, like 100%. I love fighting games. That game looks sick. I would love to down smash you as Annie. Just drop tibbers on your head. I don't care who you're playing. That's gonna be my main. I'm
we need
sorry,
to
boys.
save us from the current fighting game field, which is Nicktoons, Smash, and then did you hear about Warner Brothers? We're getting a little bit off topic, but I'm gonna go on a quick tangent here myself.
Okay, go.
Warner Brothers is releasing their own 2D platformer fighter game. One of the playable characters is Gandalf.
What? Wait a second.
I'm not joking.
Hold on.
Yeah, you can look it up. It's all real. They leaked like part of the new roster, and there will be a playable Gandalf in this.
You're actually kidding me.
Fighting platformer game. I'm surprised you hadn't heard about this. I think it was HBox was posting all about it on Twitter. Originally, like leaking the concept of the game, and then eventually leaking actual screenshots of the roster. Very little done about it though, and I don't think it's been announced technically yet. But just like a few leaks are on the table right now.
He's not lying.
He
was telling the truth the whole time. Shaggy, supposedly, Gandalf, Tom and Jerry, Batman, Fred Flintstone, Johnny Bravo, and Mad Max.
Everyone's getting on the fun, man.
I love this. I love this roster so much. Well, I mean, to be fair, the surprise success of Nicktoons is crazy. I don't think anyone saw something like that to challenge maybe the pedestal. And granted, they're still, waiting to see whether or not competitive balancing comes out. I do know that a lot of the characters that had like infinite loop combos have since been nerfed.
God bless.
So that's good. God bless that the developers are listening and then didn't say, we got a couple million copies of the $60 game. Let's cash out and never develop the game further. So it's a good sign for that to exist and hopefully get better. We'll have to see. Guys, Valorant, the last chance qualifiers. I don't know if you got a chance to watch them.
Again, not spicy. This time. Maybe one day I'll watch some Valorant, but
well, there's only one tournament left and it's in December because the last chance qualifiers are done for everywhere.
Yeah.
You want to know who made it?
Xset.
What? Do you already know?
Oh, wait, did I really get it right? I just assumed based on like power rankings that Xset was going to make it.
I actually tricked you.
Oh.
Did I? I'll wait till you look it up.
You're gonna make me look it up?
Yeah. Why would I know?
Wait, I said you watched.
You are right. I'm kidding. I'm just messing with you, man.
Oh, okay.
Do you know who else made it though?
I do not.
Cloud9 Blue fought to hell and back. Even got sent to the losers bracket, right?
Nice,
dude.
Cloud9 and lower bracket runs, man. It's just it's just in their blood. It's the only way they win.
They got, and that's kind of unfortunate what ended up happening. Xset made it through most of the lower bracket, fighting their way until they ended up meeting Cloud9 Blue. And then I don't know if you got to see the finals, but Cloud9 Blue versus 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves just didn't play the game. Everyone was shocked. There was some real cheeky stuff that happened. Icebox, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I probably haven't. I'm not the expert on Icebox map. My map's, of course, Breeze, the worst shotgun map in the game, yet I'm a shotgun main. And they did both teams did this weird tower plant on A where they used the sage wall to diagonally cut it off. Craziest thing I've ever seen in that game. Innovative. So Cloud9 makes it out of the losers bracket. And who do they have to face? Rise. Unfortunately, Rise, a tournament favorite for those that don't like 100 Thieves, they got 3-0'd at the end of it all.
There's something to be said about lower bracket momentum, and I think
honestly, the underdog power is legitimate every time.
Not just that, but like the fact you play better and better teams as you play through the lower bracket, which isn't always guaranteed in the upper bracket, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is like you just get better and better practice going into it, and then either you're going to come out of that lower bracket exhausted, or you're going to come out so prepared to take down whoever the supposed best team is. And they 3-0'd,
And it
right?
was you.
That's kind of incredible.
Yeah. I mean, to see 3-0s in Valorant in general, because you may forego a map, and that sucks. That's unfortunate. But most teams have the ability to reset, to come back at it in a different map, but it ended up happening. So it is what it is. So it's a little sad, but it means we're just that much closer towards the end of the year. The cultivation of that Riot esport. No other things to speak of. Unfortunately, Runeterra, Legend of Runeterra does not have an esports scene big enough yet. TFT tries with like Twitch rivals, but what are you gonna do?
TFT can do their best. Runeterra can do their best, but yeah, I think it's really hard to market those kind of esports in general to a audience that doesn't play the game.
Yeah, and a lot of it's like lore invested a little bit as well, to some extent. I guess if anything, TFT would be the only game you could play individually without caring about who you're playing. Like Runeterra's got all like the extra lore dump in it that kind of ties you to cards and champions and stuff within the game.
Yeah, TFT, you play like the alternate universe version of Jarvan.
Yeah, you're like, oh, Jarvan. Rabadon's Death Camp. That's one of his best items. You play a league, you're like, wait, what? Why am I dying all the time? No continuity, and that's good. Having same IP but different intentions, different gameplay is really good. Speaking of big news, you know that SteelSeries has sold. Excel has agreed to sell gaming hardware entity SteelSeries to GN Store Nord for $1.241 million US. GN Store Nord owns GN Hearing and Jabra Manufacturing hearing aids and headsets. So that means that for people that work at call centers, y'all going to get like a SteelSeries headset to work now. That's going to be awesome.
Honestly, I have to say I haven't heard of either of these companies beforehand.
You haven't heard of SteelSeries?
No, SteelSeries, absolutely.
Oh,
but like
okay.
the two that are making the transaction, whoever owns this group, I can't say I've ever heard of them. But I think it's interesting.
You haven't heard of Jabra?
Jabra?
Yeah, Jabra is like actually the business headset microphone makers in the world. Telephone, soft phone, digital phones.
I have to
Jabra is huge.
I just assumed it was Logitech that did all that, because that's like what I feel like I see everywhere is like the Logitech gaming division and like the Logitech business headsets.
Professional division. I think those two might be some of the big competitors on the business side, but Jabra is huge, specifically in like call centers and stuff.
Yeah, honestly, they probably like have the hardware to be able to build gaming headsets, but I think just acquiring the SteelSeries name is going to be massive for them. I know right now, if I had to guess, I think the most widely accepted like gaming brand for anything audio is probably HyperX.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing a phenomenal job in the collegiate community.
Right.
And what I mean by that is that they literally just give away like stuff to tournament organizers to just give away at tournaments as prizes.
Right.
I don't see anyone else having that kind of outreach. And so it's always like whenever you enter into a tournament, it's like cash prize plus a HyperX headset or a HyperX keyboard or some other HyperX peripheral.
Exactly.
They put their name on everything. Everything is sponsored by HyperX. And so I think it's hard to overcome the SteelSeries. But like if they can find another way to either sneak into that market on their own or just sponsoring some of these like larger events, I think that their name could become that forerunner.
This voice is brought to you by HyperX too.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. Just
Barretel's microphone.
It is what it is. We'll take it. I'm a fan. It's got cool colors and it sounds okay every once in a while. I wanted to get it synced in with my wall, but that's very difficult to do. Too
much work.
I don't have the brain capacity for that, but it is a good thing. SteelSeries has continued to provide good peripherals, and this kind of buyout I think is really cool. Again, me having personal experience with Jabra, I think that this is a huge move for kind of. I wonder if they're ever going to flagship like so you're working during the day and you want to be comfortable, but when you're off the clock, you want a game. How about you use the same headset?
I'm still loving like the merger of traditional media and esports. and
Right.
how just clueless I feel like traditional media is generally at making commercials oriented at people who play video games.
Right.
It is it is the most just like unrelatable stuff I have ever interacted with. It is so disappointing.
Well, it's like
but
it's all those commercials in ever existence where you know that they don't have anyone that plays video game on staff. They start playing and they're like, I'm in. I'm going right now. They're like, what are you doing? Put your controller down. You're embarrassing yourself.
Yeah, I mean, like I guess even like Twitch struggles to come up with relatable gaming content on commercials. I think it's just like marketing departments in general. They think they get it, but they're just not quite there.
They've chomped at the bit of the whole hydration break opportunity and just throw XY liquid on the screen for 20 seconds. They're like, oh, guys, have you heard of memes before? That might be my I'm gonna let you finish topic.
Yeah, all right.
Is meme accounts. Remind me, business meme Twitter accounts.
I'll see what I can do.
Stay tuned. They're not as good as you may think. Oh, sorry about that. I have a lot of passions. It is what it is. NVX OpTic, the merger possibly of the century, of the millennia. Former Dallas Empire merges with former OpTic Chicago to form OpTic Texas for the 2022 Call of Duty League season. The team will consist of Scump Dashi, coming from, of course, the OpTic side, and Illy and Shotzi from the Empire. The old Chicago spot was set to be sold to Mark Ean, the owner of the Washington Justice, but backed out of the deal last week. So there's one spot left open, but this team looks real scary.
Yeah, I mean, they're just merging, it's taking the best of two worlds and mashing them together. Of course, you're never going to know how well they're actually going to mesh as a team.
Yeah, watch them just be full friction the whole time.
You never know. But I mean, you're taking like one of the best players in Scump and just like mash them on this other roster. Like, it's going to be good. It's going to be a good team no matter what. What's, I think, even more interesting than this is the empty spot now in the Call of Duty League.
Let's put a team together.
I feel like
there's me, Chizu.
We will suck. We'll get rolled.
Well, practice.
Hear me out. There are so many esports brands that aren't involved in the Call of Duty League. Like, looking at just the Valorant last chance qualifier bracket, like, I feel like if you pulled this entire list, more than half of them are probably not involved in the Call of Duty League. But like, these are like tier 1 organizations who are involved in either League of Legends, Overwatch, sometimes both. Which are the only two of their franchise esports leagues out there right now, right? So this is another chance to get one of those franchise league spots. And honestly, I think Call of Duty is doing nothing but expanding, especially with how much investing they're doing into the college scene right now. Of course, and another side bit of news here. The Collegiate Call of Duty League was actually bought out by eFuse, which is like LinkedIn, but for gaming. Giant like social media and marketing presence, basically, that's going to be helping take that competition to the next level. So that'll be really exciting. But that's like a lot. Imagine just because like collegiate esports for Call of Duty is run so differently than all the other ones where it's centralized. It's kind of like collegiate carball, but it feels a lot more official. It's all on that one channel. You know exactly where to go to find the highlight matches of the week. I think that brings a lot of excitement that is hard to find in more fragmented esports. So I think that what I'm trying to get at is basically there's a whole lot going on at the lower levels in terms of amateur tournaments, grassroots organization tournaments still being allowed. I'm not going to get into Play versus and Riot right now. But don't do it. Sorry, this point's going way longer than I wanted to. But they allow grassroots tournaments. Their collegiate competition is flourishing. It just got bought out. The Call of Duty League is one of the last franchise leagues available right now that you can still buy into because there's an open spot. Why isn't there another org jumping on this? I'm just like waiting for who's going to be the one to pull the trigger. And I don't think this will probably be left open for long.
I wonder if they're waiting for like the highest bid or something.
I mean, they could very well be auctioning it off. I'd imagine they'd have multiple teams looking for this spot.
It's not like who offers first is who offers the most, right?
Yeah.
Because you want to invest that because that way you can loop that back into production and the rest of everything else that needs to get paid out.
It is a little bit disappointing.
There's a lot of expenses in running any sort of tournament, ladies and gentlemen. It is kind of crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it is a little disappointing because it's like the biggest rival pulling out of the league and then just allowing OpTic to kind of take over that space. So whoever comes in is going to have to like be that, not only just a force inside the league itself to try and repair like that rivalry, that the close rivalry that existed before, but also bring like that storyline and hype to the scene that allows them to recreate either a big rivalry between these two teams, OpTic and this newer one, or, you know, any other team in the league. They just need to have that storyline going again, because losing a big rivalry, imagine, like, it's like League of Legends in North America without TSM and CLG. It's not a rivalry anymore, right? So it's just disappointing to watch.
It's like NA versus EU.
Yeah, don't remind me, please. It hurts.
It hurts every time.
Hide my shame.
I won't say anything. My team didn't even make it, so you should be happy. I love my team, my boys. Maybe one day they'll learn. Maybe COD's their game. Maybe that's where the buy-in spot's going to be taken up, is the big old dig to toss. I doubt it. Well, COD Rostermania seems to be going crazy in that the only teams to not confirm their roster so far are the London Royal Ravens and Paris Legion. They're also the only two teams that have not announced their roster, as well as the other CDL League spots not purchased yet. So things are going crazy.
Yeah, Rostermania is just... it just kind of looks even worse for Call of Duty than a lot of other esports right now. I think a lot of it is kind of due to like I mean, I'm sure the Call of Duty League teams get notified earlier than anyone else, but like Modern Warfare was 5v5, Cold War was 4v4. Like, there wasn't necessarily a guarantee that this next game was also going to be 4v4. Like, it ended up being that way. But imagine they go back to 5v5. It could have caused so much more disruption within those roster swaps. So we actually
get one other player.
Yeah, quick, who can we steal? Whose contract is expiring on another team? Who can we like run over and grab? We have a guy on the bench. He's okay. It's like, you never know what's going to happen, right? When the number of players in a league changes. And so I think we got fairly fortunate that even though this looks bad, it could have been a lot worse.
You'd briefly mentioned Vanguard. Have you had a chance to play any of it at all?
Not yet. And we have a topic that I can discuss in a little bit to explain why.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I've actually been watching some of my favorite COD content creators, both large and small, and it's interesting how the game is so polarized. I've heard accounts that it's trash, this game's garbage, and I've had people recount that it's like the most fun they've had in COD in a long time. So it's interesting. The TTK, non-existent. I think when it came down to its release time, there was more of a surplus than normal of immediate players. So the player base has kind of taken off with knowledge and hit the ground running. So they know all the corners. They know when to peak. They got the timing down. And then I've heard that spawns are questionable, like Nuketown 2024 questionable. Like you can manipulate spawns so easily in Vanguard currently, and I wonder. We often see, these games emerge without much of a competitive scene immediately, so every player has a kind of equal footing going into competitive play. And maybe there is skill-based matchmaking. Who really knows?
God, I hope so.
But I wonder if the intention is to let the players learn the game, and if for some reason they can't learn to overcome X, Y, or Z, that the developers realize, this is a problem that we needed to step in to take care of.
Yeah. I'll make that my topic later. I'll allow us to move on and away from this, but I do want to get in the fact that I feel like Call of Duty players will say that about every Call of Duty title, because it's
fair.
Such a widespread and diverse community at this point.
Yeah.
That, like, you'll get people who like love the low TTK, and like, people who hate it. You'll get people who love the jetpacks in one of the Modern Warfares, and you'll get people who just hate the extra added movement. And
I liked Advanced Warfare. I thought zipping around like a robot was sick.
But either way, like, you're gonna get the divisiveness, right? But just because I haven't had a chance to play it myself, I don't want to necessarily speak to whether or not this is like these differences are massive glaring problems with the game or not. I think it'll take some time for one, balance, but also for people to figure out competitive rule sets and gentlemen's agreements. Like, once those come out, then we can actually talk and see how the game is supposed to be played, because having the extra perk, the extra weapon, having sniper rifles, not having sniper rifles, it affects the game too much for you to make any kind of judgment on it like right now.
Mm-hmm. It's just too infantile.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It will grow.
Anyone who's saying like, I'm never going to play this trash Call of Duty game, I'm not going to play this trash Call of Duty this year, like, this is a horrible time to be passing that kind of judgment. Like, give it like a month at least before
they
you
already have next year's game already announced and everything, so maybe people are just going to wait for that ship to sail.
That's how Activision do it.
Well, I heard that the roadmap got leaked, and instead of them denying it, they was like, yep, it's real. It's a real leak.
I respect that. I respect
right?
that.
Don't try to hide it behind anything. Just be honest. Hey, we're doing this. They got us. Dang. Oh, well.
Rats.
Speaking of collaborations with NV OpTic, Rocket League X BMW have collaborated together. This makes it BMW is now the title sponsor for Rocket League Open, as well as the Rocket League Freestyle tournaments. And moreover, the manufacturer's new BMW M240i car will be integrated into the game in November. They release such cool cars now in that game. And I think it might just be because of the fact that they have such a more public eye. Their stuff, every time I tune into Twitch, is somewhere in the hundreds of thousands. It's popping.
I have to say that this kind of felt inevitable.
Right.
With Rocket League,
BMW specifically, or just any manufacturer?
Any manufacturer. I mean, Rocket League's been collaborating with people for such a long time. Mm-hmm. Like dating back to the game's release, when I think they did stuff with like Warframe. So like they were just like collaborating with like other free-to-play games, but it just kept growing. I mean, like they did something with Game of Thrones, Harry Potter. They did like the Batmobile, and then like the Fortnite bus. So like they just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger franchises to collaborate with them.
I wonder how this is going to work with them having a Ford Raptor in the game.
Great question. I'm assuming they've already negotiated that out.
Cannot use the car professionally.
From the game.
Also, no Scarab, because why would you do that to yourself and your teammates?
Scarab's cool, for the record.
Yeah, I love this. I'm a Scarab main. My teammates do not like it.
I think it's just it was a matter of time, right? At some point, some car manufacturers going to look at this and be like, this is an opportunity for us to get involved in esports. Honda's already got the LCS on lock. Time for someone else to step up and take over Rocket League. And I think BMW kind of being that more sporty style that I think kind of resonates with Rocket League culture might end up working out well for them.
I mean, it's so smart because like you pay what? Let's just say you pay X amount a month or something like that.
For ad,
this stuff's for just
broadcast.
Ad revenue, for broadcast ad revenue, and you get to dictate who else you put on the show if you own, if you're a big collaborator and the title sponsor for, the RLO and the RLF. Speaking of, did you get a chance to watch any of the EU Rocket League Championship series this past weekend?
Say I have.
I wonder why. And we'll get to it. You have 2 monitors, though, right?
But the other monitors
watching the content of the game that you're playing.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not immersed if what I'm not watching on my second monitor absentmindedly isn't also the game that I'm currently playing and can't stop.
Yeah, see, I'm glad you get it.
I 100% understand. I also had to sit there and watch for my key initially too, so there's that. I didn't get one sent in the mail like some cool people did. Oh well. But that's big news. I mean, we're seeing Mercedes-Benz, we have BMW, everyone's getting involved more so in what they can across esports. Now it's just time for local scenes to start picking it up. When we get our first esports bar opening up, when does that ribbon get cut? And when does that become a franchise spot for major cities? Because I guarantee you look at any major city and there's a demographic around it that wants to watch esports in an esports bar.
I will say, I think the ribbon's been cut and then put back together and then cut and then put back together multiple times in multiple cities.
It's all about timing. It's got to be about
timing.
We're
getting there. It's coming.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Well, speaking of getting there, we're going to jump over to something that we haven't quite talked about a lot of, but the PUBG Global Championship. The global tournament has already started November 19th. It's going to run till December 19th with 32 teams, a prize pool of $2 million. The event, of course, will operate a LAN online hybrid system hosted in Incheon, South Korea. 30% of the revenue from the Pick'ems challenge will go towards the prize pool. And of course, 5 of the teams are from China and are not allowed to be at the LAN event, so they will be competing online.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit tough, but I mean, there are teams in China that will compete on Korean servers across different titles and
Right.
vice versa. So like the ping isn't that bad, but still 0 versus 30 to 60 is
Versus
a
anything.
significant difference. That yeah, you will
Right.
notice that. And so it kind of sucks for competitive integrity. But I will also say that I think that PUBG is a game that's much more based around positioning and equipment than it is around hardcore reaction time. Yes, it'll help you and
Right.
you will have that slight advantage. But I think it's one of those games that just by the nature of how the game is played, you can overcome that with good team play.
Right. Yeah, and it's going to be cool. 32 teams is quite a lot. What's funny is the fact that the $2 million prize pool, a lot smaller than similar game, but the mobile version, the prize pool for that major was actually $6 million. And that could be maybe a reason why, everyone's having to operate off of a cell phone network or Wi-Fi, as opposed to you can't LAN a phone. I don't think. Can
Depends
you?
on the adapter. Yeah, you technically can.
Are you breaking the phone by doing so?
No,
Jailbreaking it?
USB-C connectors
Can have an Ethernet
can carry
adapter?
Ethernet. Yes, I believe.
Wow, well, that's impressive.
Yeah, those things carry just about everything. At least they're capable of it. Like there's USB-C to Ethernet adapters, which is why the Nintendo Switch can have an Ethernet port because they didn't put it on the console for some reason.
Why not? It's too big. The port itself,
of course. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about Nintendo.
The Switch is just a funny device in general. It can't Bluetooth. Has no way for you to get separate speaker system unless you dock it, right? Why?
I'm just hoping that the Steam encroaching on their handheld territory.
You think it's being encroached upon?
I think that'll be a fair competitor. Imagine being able to play Hollow Knight in 1080.
Especially the new one coming out whenever that happens, or the new Cuphead, or the new anything.
And literally 100% compatibility. Either way, what I'm trying to say is that Steam Deck's going to come in, encroach on their territory, and hopefully Nintendo will innovate in a direction that gives them more capabilities within their console and hopefully more of a better competitive framework.
No,
but of course they'll never do it because they're
Nintendo
already making
has
too much
never
money.
conformed to anything.
I know.
They in the face of huge adversaries like the PS2, the PS, and the Xbox Series, going into the 360, going and just continuing on through the generations, Nintendo said, we'll be fine. We have those IPs that no one can buy from us. We have the ones that only we possess. We have the Pokemons.
And no one can stream them either.
No one can stream them without our permission.
Goddamn Nintendo.
Let's say, okay, place your bets right now. Sidebar. Nintendo, how long does it before they make a new Smash game? 3 years?
It'll be on the next console. It won't come on the Switch, which means another
4.
The Switch is their console to compete with the PlayStation 5 and Xbox. Those came out 2 years ago. We have 6 or 7 years before the next Smash game comes out.
That's a long time. I'm saying shorter. I'm saying 3.
Unless there's like a Nintendo Wii U version of the Switch that comes out that's like somehow better and different. That's the only time we're going to get another Smash title. That's what I think.
You might be right. You're probably right. It's not going to happen. Oh, well.
I'm sorry to say.
Okay.
I'm spitting only truths today.
Speaking of spitting truth, I know you had a little bit of a two-parter here you wanted to talk about. The CSGO Major happening since the last time we recorded here. How did it end up going?
Absolutely incredible for the CSGO scene. So I'm going to preface this by saying that I think that CSGO is possibly the best esport to ever be invented.
Wow.
I think that it has so much going for it. And I'm not going to get into that right now because I'm trying to save as much time as possible for my rant later. But CSGO, absolutely incredible. Massive turnout for this tournament too. They had peak viewership at 2.5 million at the end of it all. Of course, I think a lot of that was supported by the fact that it was G2 playing, which has a giant European fan base, of course.
Right.
But actually, funnily enough, G2 ended up falling in the finals to Na'Vi, who ended up taking the very first lossless major in CSGO history.
Whoa.
So absolutely like crazy unprecedented event, super high viewership, super hyped matchup, and Simple, a player who has, I believe, struggled to win a major in the past, got his first victory at this one. So it was a super awesome
did he show
event.
up, or was it like a team effort?
Oh no, he showed up. Yeah, he
sick
MVP of like the tournament by far.
Wow.
Yeah, totally deserved. And then the coolest thing, the cherry on top of all this, the Ukrainian president like tweeted out about Navi winning the tournament, which I think is just so funny. I think I love whenever like country leaders get involved with their esports teams. I think the only other group I've seen do it was, I think it was New Zealand had a prime minister that was like getting involved with like Twitch streamers, and I think maybe wasn't it like a Dota team that got a shout out as well?
Maybe.
Either way,
something
I think
like
it was
that.
just a super cool tournament, super hyped up, and you should watch CSGO if you are not, because it's got some awesome history to it, and it has a lot of sticking power if you haven't noticed already.
Can you imagine you're just sitting there playing League of Legends professionally, CSGO professionally, you win for your country, and George Washington comes out?
It could happen.
Like
it could
from
happen.
the dead, like a zombie version.
Riot is currently in early talks to get League of Legends in place at the 2024 Olympics. I don't think it's going to happen, but the fact they're talking about it is good, because I mean they already had it at the Asian
Is that
Games.
also US hosted or no?
No, I believe this year's in France.
Okay. Quote him
Paris,
on it.
Paris 2024. I just looked it up.
Shoot,
man, I'm good. But yeah, that'd be cool to have it there too, or at least some kind of esport.
That'd be cool. We'll actually, see. They should bust out. They should dust off the old classic esport.
Old classic. Oh, I hope so. I think that was actually brought out at an Asian Games in like 2016.
Really?
Yeah, I had like a chance, but I think StarCraft has its own issues, and the RTS genre has its own issues that'll just never make it a mainstream esport.
We won't talk about that on.
We don't talk about
episode.
StarCraft.
We don't talk about that game.
We don't talk about that.
I played it for the first game, or the first time in probably 16 years, right? Since StarCraft 1 back on the doo-doo old computers. I was dead in like 3 minutes.
Dude, everything's optimized now. It's like how quickly fighting games evolve over time. Imagine not having any of that knowledge and then trying to jump back into it. You're just gonna get
it wasn't good. I had a bunch of pylons.
Good job. Those will help you.
I heard that you need to construct those.
Yeah, very important. So you must construct additional. Yeah.
It is what it is. Do you want to save your last talking point for I'm gonna let you finish? Because it is esports related.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
You don't have to if you had something else to rant about.
Not really. I was going to think of it on the fly when you brought up yours.
Well, I'll do mine.
All right.
And if we need to rewind and put yours somewhere else, then so be it.
Well, let me say something really quick so you can interrupt me.
Yeah. I'm going to let you finish, but ladies and gentlemen, the Twitter and social media accounts run by your favorite restaurants and corporations are a lie. They are not your friend. They don't want to talk to you. They're a paid individual to say funny things to get you to buy their product and create a weird social bond with a restaurant, a corporate entity. Okay? Stop talking to them. In fact, boycott their Twitter accounts immediately. Unless they're giving you coupons on the fly, you don't got to be following them on Twitter. Why are you following Wendy's? Yes, their chicken's good. Yes, that spicy jalapeno popper sandwich is great. Maybe the Baconator's too good, but you don't got to be following them on social media. Are you padding your stats? Are you getting your follower stats up for no particular reason? Is that what it is? Are you that lonely? I am.
Maybe I am.
You would see me following them on any social media.
You don't see me simping for Wendy's.
I will never simp for Wendy's. Now, if we're going to talk about like Waffle House or something like that, I'm real classy with Waffle. I will dig into a Waffle.
I understand.
But for real, they're not real people. They're not your friends. They're paid to be funny and say funny things.
Well, the fun thing is
also don't complain on social media about your restaurant experience. These people are understaffed. They're overworked. They're not making enough money. Do you think they care that they put a curly fry in your French fry box? No. And then you're forcing some dude to have to be there to reply to your angry tweet. And what are they going to do? They're going to say, sorry, can you please DM me about your experience? And then it'll go nowhere. Because again, they're not your friend. They're a business that don't care. Boycott them.
Nice.
Boom. I'm gonna let you. That was a spicy one.
I kind of want to like touch on your point too. There's an interesting
kind
of thing that's happening now where social media managers, I mean, they are real people. There is a real person behind the account, but they're often like a 20-year-old who posts a lot about not wanting to lose their job and having a lot of job insecurity because like they're afraid they're going to post like the wrong thing and they're going to get the account taken away from them. And they're like joking, but also like not really joking because they just lose their job like that if they do say the wrong thing. Like the classic esports meme tweet. The person who tweeted this, who was responsible for this tweet, is no longer working at our company. Like you see that meme tweet pop up all the time. I don't remember the origin of it, but like it's entirely possible. And so like it's funny because they're creating actual relatable content by having that job insecurity, but the fact that it's real for them, but also not entirely real, because if they keep posting about job insecurity, they're doing a good job by getting engagement, so their job is actually secure. It's a really weird like cycle, and I don't know what's right. But yeah, it's kind of weird. The weird parasocial relationship with branding, that's got to stop. Block Wendy's.
I'm gonna let you finish. But part 2, guys. What don't you understand? There is not an employment shortage. There is a hiring shortage. I know countless people that have applied to numerous jobs without any sort of reciprocation and communication or any sort of message being sent that they were being considered to move towards the next step. Yes, in most situations, no place of business is obligated to send you a "we're not interested" message. But when in the past have you not seen that? Why is there now all of a sudden this gap in these companies communicating that they've even reviewed the application? It's because they're not hiring. They're trying to milk these few workers for every drop of labor and suffering that they have available. And it's not nice. So stop complaining about that curly fry in your French fries. Maybe give them an extra few minutes to get your McFlurry set up. Yes, the ice cream machine's broken because no one knows how to fix it because they don't want to pay them to fix it. Okay? Just chill. You live. You got pickles on your burger. Pick them off. That's all.
True. Pickles on burger is bad. And that's my entire rant.
Yes.
Goodbye, everyone. No. Okay. Finally, it's time. I get to talk. All right. I'm going to let you finish, Barretel.
Yeah.
Well, on a much lighter note, Lost Ark is here, and it is glorious. If you haven't heard of Lost Ark, it is a top-down, think mash of Diablo, PoE, and Battlerite, which is another game you should check out, but it's dead now.
One of the best games. They have all the characters released for free.
That's kind of cool. It's like this crazy mix of arena battler, MMORPG, and just like such fluid animations. It was released in Korea in 2016, maybe earlier than that, and it's finally been it's working on being ported over to North America by Amazon. The closed beta dropped November 4th, which is why I haven't been playing Vanguard, because I've been playing the closed beta that's only available for a week, and the actual game release is currently set for March 31st in 2022. It is a blast to play. It's incredibly fluid. So if you're looking for something that's like top down, beautiful animations, stories not super great, but that doesn't matter because the PvP is awesome and you have to try it out. It is super sick. It's like, imagine a fighting game mixed with Diablo, and it is like this super cool format of like mind gaming your opponent, playing your cooldowns, and then like baiting stuff out and then running back on in. And a whole lot of positioning and like accuracy of aiming your abilities actually comes into play. It's not tab targeting. I don't like tab targeting. They don't have any of that. You have to aim everything. It's hardcore.
It's more like League of Legends if it was just you and some other dude just beating the crap out of each other. That's no minions, no farming, just beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah, so I've been playing that this entire last week, and it has been so much fun. If you haven't checked them out yet, I do recommend it. I have no content to show for it, but I would recommend checking out some of Rush's montages. I think they're super interesting and super fun. Kind of give you a feel for like how the combos in the game work and why it's so fun and fluid to play.
Yeah, it's similar. The combo system and that fighting action aspect is very synonymous with like Aeon, with BDO, Black Desert Online, but it's a top down, so you don't get clustered with random graphics. You just get to see what you're beating the crap out of the whole time, which is awesome.
And then
I'm playing a gun person with guns.
3 points.
3 points.
The gun people have 3 guns, so that's cool. That's why I wanted to bring it to 3. 2.
That's true. 3 guns, 3 swords too.
3 swords if you play one of the sword people. Second point, free to play. And last point, they're making a dedicated effort for this not to be pay to win. So incredibly hard because they know that it will fail in the US if it's if it's a pay to win game. So they're localizing it in a way that they can still be profitable in the United States, but also taking out any pay to win elements that may have been inside the Korea release.
Just do cosmetics. That's how all games succeed. Yeah.
They're making it work. So check out Lost Ark. That's all I got.
That's all you got. That's all you need. That's all we're going to have for you tonight. That's going to be tonight's episode of Clickheads. Again, Barretel and Sulpan bring it to you quasi-live. You don't really know, do you? Yes, it's on YouTube. You don't know when we recorded
this. We could have had a live premiere. You don't know that.
Speaking of, I think it's a little bit of a question. You like the episode? Feel free to drop that like. Hit the comment button and say what your favorite part was liked. And if you really made it to the end of this part of the video, make sure to type potato in the comment section. Subscribe for more content. Of course, have a good night. Finger guns, as always.
Oh, right. Finger guns. Forgot.